Introduce yourself.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. What's up, everybody? I'm Brad.
And I'm Sean.
I live in Nashville, Tennessee, but today I am at my business in Hermitage, Tennessee, drinking some tea.
Nice.
And as you can see, I've got a couple of my friends with me, keeping me in line. An angel and a devil. You can decide which one's which.
I don't know. Elf's done some pretty bad things, but nice. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I live in my office like usual. I got my books, my movies, little baby Groot up there, my guitar, and I'm drinking some eggnog because me and my wife are decorating our tree in the other room. I'm just stepping away for a second.
Very nice. Very nice. Sean and I used to make coffee, and anytime we wanted to, make coffee and sit down and talk movies, talk about TV shows or whatever. But now, since we live so far apart, we have to do it from a distance. So here we are.
Yeah. So what we decided to do this month, or for this video, is we wanted to take November in review. There's a lot of things that we had seen and talked about a little bit, but that just didn't quite make the cut for its own video. So we decided to take this time to go ahead and go through those things that didn't make it for a solo video. So we'll be talking about some movies, TV shows, and other things, but we won't be going into any spoilers or anything, so you don't have to worry about that. But me and Brad just wanted to talk about the things that we've been watching and see if you guys have been watching them as well.
So yeah, this video is going to have minimal editing. It's really more just us just hanging out and talking about the stuff that we've seen and didn't see. Like Sean said, things that I saw but he didn't see and whatnot. We're just going to kind of jibber jabber on them a little bit and share a little bit of opinion and get that out there. So we're going to start off with a movie that we actually got to see together. As you can see right here, this is us actually doing something, not from a distance. We got to go see Knives Out together whenever I went and visited them in North Carolina for Thanksgiving. We filmed our last on-the-spot video there with Matt, which you can see up here somewhere. You can click on that to watch that. But before we start and do our Knives Out review, remember to like and subscribe, smash the like button, do all that stuff for us, and that would totally rule. But we're going to kick off with Knives Out. Sean, what did you think of Knives Out? Go ahead and tell me what you thought, and give me your thumb rating for it.
All right, so Knives Out. I had a great time in the theater with this one. First off, I just wanted to say it's directed by Brad's favorite director, Rian Johnson, who did The Last Jedi. He also did Looper, which I loved. But this movie was very fun as far as a murder mystery that keeps the intrigue up with the fun around every corner. There were so many one-liners. There's so many characters that I just loved. Each character had like little quirks about them that worked for me, and I loved the family dynamic. So basically, this is all around a grandpa getting murdered that's very wealthy, and all of the family members have a reason that they could have been the killer. So I loved it, and he lives in like a Clue-esque house. So it was so fun. Brad, did you have anything else to say?
I mean, not a lot. The main thing I actually liked about this movie, now that I've had a week to tomorrow to reflect on it. Tomorrow to reflect on it, is that it was just nice to go to the movies with my family. You know, which was normally I'm by myself or with my wife, which is awesome. Obviously, don't want to get in trouble, don't get divorced. But it was just nice to go as a bigger group to go to a movie because I don't get to do that very much. Mainly what Sean said, but. I liked the twists and turns. I enjoyed, but really the standout to the movie to me was Marta, the girl who played Marta. I thought she was awesome. I didn't see Blade Runner, so I didn't see her. I've never seen her before, so I very much enjoyed her performance, and she was so odd. They wrote her so quirky, and that it was really the whole movie as a whole was refreshing, and I do not like Rian Johnson, obviously, from The Last Jedi and his personal outspokenness about fans of The Last Jedi. But moving on, we have plenty of time for Star Wars in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this. Every single character was interesting, well written. There was a couple that could have been thrown out probably just to give more time to other characters, and the thing that I guess his thing now was to just subvert everybody's expectations, but it really wasn't a whodunit. They told you everything at the 25-30 minute mark, and then it was another hour and a half of. We're not doing spoilers, but it really wasn't a whodunit. It was a whodunit style, but you already knew whodunit. So it was. I really enjoyed it. How many thumbs you got for Knives Out?
All right, so I said I love this one, so I'm going to give it a solid 9 thumbs up.
Oh, generous indeed. I think I've come down in the last week just a little bit. I still definitely loved it. It was one of those ones where you get out of there and you're hyped up because it was so much. But I mean, if I watched this again, it would not be nearly as fun unless I was watching it with somebody else. So I got 8 thumbs for Knives Out. Still very good. A fun time at the movies. And I would only watch it again, though, if I was with somebody else, I think, who hadn't seen it.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I could see this one being something that I would watch every few years, or maybe, yeah, like every few years or so, just because it's fun, especially with a group of people. But I do agree with you, it'd be fun to see it again with people that haven't seen it. But the average thumbs for that would be 8.5, so that's a solid movie. Brad, anything else to say about it before we move on?
The popcorn was really good that night at AMC.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yep.
You don't even know. You don't even eat popcorn. This man doesn't eat popcorn. He's lost all credibility.
I eat it when it's necessary, but
no, this is a true story about Sean. When Sean, you'll go to movies with Sean. I've told this story many times. You go to movies with Sean, and I'm a popcorn weirdo. Like the amount of popcorn I consume, I need to have my head scanned, I think. But I've got my huge tote essentially of popcorn, and Sean will lean over mid-movie and say, "Okay, I do want some. Can I get some popcorn?" This is real life. This has happened 10 times. And I said, "Of course, go for it, man. Jump in." And he will take a single piece of popcorn off the top and eat it, and that's it.
So I guess my main reason for not wanting popcorn is, first of all, it's just not something that I'm like, oh, hey, I really want popcorn right now. It dries out my mouth. It's just, and also you have to pay like $10 for a bucket at the movie theater. So maybe I'm just cheap. I don't know. Maybe that mystery will unfold like this movie did, but in due time.
All right, just to point out a continuity error, I did unzip my coat a little bit because we did just have a break. So yes, my coat did move. All right, so moving on to our next section here. First, we're going to talk about some stuff that we each saw for the first time that the other person didn't see, and then we'll dig into some stuff that we each rewatched that the other person didn't rewatch. Speaking of continuity errors, Sean's headphones died just now, so we are back again. Starting over, kind of. Jumping back in. I'm going to go first with a couple of movies that I saw, and then Sean has a TV show he saw, and then we both have some rewatches. So we're just going to go back and forth until this list ends. I think I have more stuff than him, so I'll go fast at the end, I promise. All right. So I saw... Oh, yeah. Sorry. That's right. I was going to the movies. I went to the movies to see Midway, and I got to buy my ticket for Midway, and she's like, "You do know that's the ride, right, sir?" And I'm like, "A ride? This is like a movie about World War something, or some war, and or a battle. Okay, I don't know." And I'm like, "A ride? What do you mean?" And she's like, "It's 4DX, sir, and that's the one where they spray water on you and blah blah blah, and the chair moves." And I'm like, "Okay, so back to the drawing board. I'll take one for Black and Blue, please." And so, talk about not fitting in an auditorium, but regardless, I got a huge soda popcorn, as is my thing, and got to eat popcorn and watch Black and Blue. I had heard things about it that were mostly positive, and I was looking forward to a movie that I had heard that wasn't full of political commentary and racial commentary. That was exciting to just watch a real movie that didn't have a big huge message in it. And for the most part, I enjoyed this movie. It got a little heavy-handed at the end with the like racial / cops versus people chatter or whatever, but I did like this. I like my popcorn more than the movie, I will say, but this movie is 6.5 thumbs for me, and I would recommend it at Redbox, but I would definitely recommend it be watched. What you got?
Well, I didn't watch any movies that you didn't watch, unfortunately, in November. But I did watch some TV, and I watched season 2 of Jack Ryan. It's on Amazon Prime. It's a political thriller that stars John Krasinski, or Jim from The Office. I know that you haven't watched season 1 either, but for season 2 alone, I'd say that it's a solid follow-up. It has... But it's hard when you're following up a great first season. The second season has a lot to live up to. So it didn't quite hit as good as the first one, but it builds on the established characters and adds interesting new ones into the mix. It had solid action with a decent storyline as far as like political intrigue and thriller goes, and a dash of revenge. So I liked it overall. I'd recommend it for sure. If you thought the first season was awesome, then I would recommend it. Or if you haven't watched this one, which I know you haven't, it's a very fun show. It kind of brings back like 90s movies for me, 90s political thrillers, because it's a Jack Ryan show, which is like the Sum of All Fears, Patriot Games, all those kind of storylines. Solid.
For season 2?
Yeah, season 2.
I've been wanting to watch. I've been wanting to watch it. It's just as you will see as we go on this video, as far as things that we've started watching in November, I'm watching too much stuff. Okay, so all right, cool. So I definitely want to watch that. So another movie that I saw that you did not see, I have to see it because I have children. Okay,
Yeah.
is Frozen 2, and it's just not as good as the first one. There's not a lot to say about it except for the fact that the story is weak. In my opinion, the story made no sense.
Okay.
It's a children's movie. It is a children's movie, no matter how you want to slice it. And I have me, my wife, a 13-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 3-year-old. We all went and saw it. And me, my wife, and the 13-year-old didn't know what had happened in the movie. And so the other ones definitely didn't. They just went and watched a movie, and my daughter didn't understand. We were debating what even just happened. Like, what's the plot of this movie? How did this happen? And this and this is like way unnecessarily complicated, I think, for a Frozen sequel that just really needed to have decent songs and fun stuff going on. I didn't hate it at all. My son actually said he liked it better than the first one. He liked the songs better, but he is wrong. So Evan, if you watch this, you're wrong. It just wasn't. It just wasn't as good. The plot just wasn't working for me. But still, it was pretty good. Okay, if 7 thumb, Frozen 2 is a 7 thumb movie for me. I hope I never have to watch it again.
But you
Still.
probably will, because you have kids.
Yes, gonna happen. I'll definitely have to hear it again. And it does have a song in it that I would say, I don't know, it's weirdly gets stuck in your head. It's Into the Unknown, and it's got a song.
Is
Okay,
it
it's
better
not as
than
good
Let
as
It Go?
Nope, not as good.
Okay.
But it has something special going on. What else did you watch that I didn't watch?
Well, I didn't really watch anything that you haven't seen yet, as far as rewatch. But we can go into the rewatch segment. And so,
Let's do.
a big thing came out in November, Disney Plus. So that's like going down nostalgia lane. And me and my wife had been wanting to see some Disney classics that you can't buy anymore because they're in the vaults. So we watched Aladdin, we watched Aristocats, Sleeping Beauty, and a few others in there as well as some, like, I had watched Steamboat Willie, the first Mickey Mouse short that ever aired in like 1920 something, and that was cool.
Truly jarring.
Yeah, really,
It's jarring.
really jarring, but also it's very cool that we have all this at our fingertips. Pause. Sorry, my dog.
Speaking of jarring.
But it was really cool. Aladdin, just for example, is one of my favorites as a kid growing up. It has so many great songs. Robin Williams, his Genie was perfect. And then the opening scene, I love. The Arabian Nights song. It's short, but it's one that has stuck with me forever. And I actually will just find myself singing randomly and annoying people while I'm doing my thing. So that's all I really rewatched that I had to talk about.
But if you watch it, you got to slap a thumb on it, though, in the words of the great Beyonce. So let's just do it. What you got
for Aladdin?
On rewatch.
Aladdin, 9.5 thumbs.
Yeah. Okay. Steamboat Willie.
Steamboat Willie, 7. I mean, not much.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't bad. It was just, it's an old cartoon. I don't know. I mean, and it paved the way for everything else. Sleeping Beauty,
Aristocats,
8.5. These are just going off the cusp here. Aristocats, 8. And that's all I can think about right now.
All right, cool. I'll bang mine out here. So speaking of Jack Ryan, I watched Patriot Games. I watched it when I was a teenager-ish, back in the 90s, and loved it. Loved Harrison Ford, obviously. It was good. It mostly holds up. I think it's the second, Hunt for Red October, and then Patriot Games, I think, is the order of the first two. And he makes a great Jack Ryan. I'm debating which actor actually is Jack Ryan, like in my head, because I also feel like Ben Affleck is Jack Ryan. So they've done a great job. I do think they've done either way. They did a great job of casting Jack Ryan, because they also just did Chris Pine as Jack Ryan. So he's not Jack Ryan. Okay? of the five or so, it's not quite a fit. Anyway, I put 7.5 thumbs for Patriot Games. It mostly holds up still, but it is definitely a little bit dated. But I was never not entertained. I loved it because it's got the over-the-top 90s villains, and that's what anything 90s is gonna be my main squeeze.
Pierce Brosnan.
The other night, yes,
Main squeeze.
He's not in that though.
No, I know he's Bond from the 90s.
Yes, I am actually going to mention Bond from the 90s here in a little while. So the other night, me and my son watched Vantage Point, which I saw in the theater like the day it came out, back in 2007 or 8 or something.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it may have been even earlier than that. I'm not sure. But when I saw it in the theater, I was like, that was fun. And whenever I woke up, and after missing the last 10 minutes of it the other night, I was like, that was pretty fun still. We're super gimmicky, but I did fall asleep for the last 10 minutes or so of it, but I'm old, and that just happens to my body. It goes to sleep. At random times. Sorry about that. But I want to be nice to this movie. It's rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. But I'm going 6.5 thumbs. It's super gimmicky, but it's still worth watching. I mean, that's still what a D or something, or is that an F?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about grades. Next, I watched Dodgeball with Evan, and it was pretty raunchy, and it was classic. Also, it has issues with holding up. I think Vantage Point actually holds up better because terrorism is still a thing, whereas Ben Stiller's not a thing anymore. So it was still awesome. We still loved it. I found myself like only laughing at the big laughs and not like enjoying the whole movie all the way through as much as I did when I was younger. And even my son was like, chuckle, 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 big laugh, chuckle, chuckle.
I saw this whenever I was very young, like probably middle school, almost high school or something. So I saw it with all my friends. So maybe that's why I just had it, because we just laughed throughout the entire thing, and it was like a thing that we'd always quote. So maybe that's why I love that movie.
Yeah. My experience is different because, like we mentioned earlier, I don't have any friends. So I don't know what it's like know what it's like for that to happen. I'm going 7.5 thumbs, which might seem harsh on Dodgeball, but it was still a ton of fun in the living room. Whatever. And lastly, a movie that I love. It doesn't have a super high thumb rating because it just can't, because it has Nicolas Cage in it, right? And that is Knowing. Knowing came out again in the late 2000s, and I love this movie. The first time I saw it, have you seen Knowing?
I have not seen Knowing.
Okay, then you don't knowing what I'm talking about right now. But of all the movies that I rewatched, like for you, I'm gonna recommend Knowing. I watched it on Netflix or on Amazon Prime, one or the other. I love this movie. It's 7 thumbs, but it's original enough. Nicolas Cage isn't hamming it up too much. He's pretty down to earth. No pun intended, if you saw the movie. And out of all the movies that I've rewatched, including the movies that I watched in the theater in November, I'm going to say you need to watch Knowing. Most of all, because it's just a fun movie. It's the most fun out of any of these movies, except for maybe Dodgeball. But that's me. So that covers our rewatches. So now we're going to move into, quickly, what are we watching now? And of the things that we're watching now, what are we most excited about in December?
First off, my favorite one on this whole list probably, well, okay, maybe not the whole list, but it's Castle Rock. Season 2 is going on. I'm a big fan of Stephen King. I've got a few of his books over there. In this show, it's just a big mashup of a lot of his different characters, his ideas, his world, all brought into this little town, because a lot of the things that happen in his books happen in the same county in Maine of Castle Rock. So the second season brought in Salem's Lot. It has the character from Misery, Kathy Bates. And it's just been a very slow start to the season, but I'm in the last few episodes right now. I don't know how many there's gonna be, but as it's gone on, it's just gotten better and better. And I really like this show as well because it's a mix of Stephen King, and it's also produced by J.J. Abrams. And I feel like J.J. Abrams is very good at creating stories, and putting them off on other people to finish out. So with that all said, I would definitely recommend the second season for any horror, mystery, drama fans alike. It's a little slow to start, but it builds up to what should be, I'm guessing, a great but a little bit of a wacky Stephen King-ish finish. And then, as far as what else I'm watching Man in the High Castle. It's on Amazon Prime. It's where Nazis win World War II. And that one's really cool. It's in its final season right now. But what I'm most excited about is something that we've already made videos on, and that's The Mandalorian. It's been going on. I'm going to watch episode 5 tonight. I love Baby Yoda. I love the world that it's building and the character dynamic of The Mandalorian and watching over this little Yoda character. I just love it, and it's nice to be in the Star Wars world and not have a bunch of drama surrounding it. So that's what I'm watching right now. Brad, what are you watching?
It is refreshing to not have the drama around something Star Wars-y, even though it seems like people are still trying to somehow add drama to it. It's like, just stop. Let us enjoy something that's decent for a minute, please. You mentioned Castle Rock. I'm also working on Castle Rock right now. I'm only on just finished the second episode, but season 1 I thought was really, really good. I thought it... Yeah. Season 1, the whole thing, I thought from start to end, no down episodes. And this was starting off really good too, and really, it's just well made. That's all I can say about Castle Rock. Somebody really took their time, and I don't know how it made it by me that this had something to do with J.J. Abrams. I did not.
Yeah, he's the producer.
Bad Robot?
Yeah, he's the executive producer of the show.
I don't know how I missed that. Maybe I knew it and then didn't know it. That's possible. Like I said, I'm old. And I could fall asleep again at any moment now. Speaking of falling asleep, a movie that me and my kids started that I just cannot seem to get through is GoldenEye. I mean, I've watched this a bunch of times, and there was a time when this was no doubt about it, the best Bond movie, of the modern era since the 90s or whatever, and it is super dated.
Yeah.
Whoa. There's so much stuff in there that is out of touch and just disinteresting. I don't really know. Maybe it's just part of how the show works. Maybe movie. I'm sorry. Those movies are best watched like time capsule, or just sit and watch them all in a row to really understand what's going on. But I'm not done. I keep falling asleep. My kids are really disappointed in that. So it's gonna happen. And then me and my kids started Jericho. We're doing a rewatch of Jericho. Jericho's one of my probably a top 10 or 15 show that I've watched. I loved it, and so we're working on that. We just finished second episode.
So good.
And then, yeah, I love that show. Totally. I'm still waiting for like a third season, but I guess we just need to stop. Two more. The other night, me and my wife were like, "What the heck are we gonna watch?" And we're trying to find something to watch, and she's like, "You can try Parenthood again," and I was like, and she's watched it all, but I was like, fine, whatever. So we started Parenthood, and by the end of the first episode, I was like about to cry, bawl my eyes out, and I was like, where's episode 2? So last night I watched episode 2 of Parenthood. Totally hooked. I'm looking forward to going home tonight, eating lasagna, and watching Parenthood. But I'm definitely enjoying that. But lastly, you forgot to mention Servant.
Servant. How could I forget the most uncomfortable feeling show that I've ever watched?
Man, talk about weird. I don't know what I'm supposed to say about this show at this point. I also have not. I fell asleep like 11 times already on this show because I'm old, and I just peace out whenever.
It was your idea to watch the show, and you fell asleep every time we tried to watch it.
Yeah, at like midnight.
Yeah.
Let's start the show at midnight Eastern time. That's a good idea. And
the kids can't watch it, so we had to start it that way.
This is true, but I didn't finish the third episode yet, but I will, and I will certainly watch that. But that's all I have on rewatches. I hope that you guys enjoyed this format. It's just kind of a November review. There's so many things that we do that we don't get to tell each other about, which is the whole point of this channel, is to discuss stuff from a distance. So we hope you enjoyed that. Be sure to check out these videos right here. Yeah, they are like on-the-spot videos, or maybe our Halloween special, which was awesome. You can pour yourself a cup of eggnog. You boil eggnog and settle in, and I don't know anything about eggnog, and watch our Halloween special, which was really fun with Matt. You can watch On the Spot with Matt. We have On the Spot with the most critical man in the world, which is right there, or wherever it ends up on the screen. I don't even know. I don't know how this works, but Sean's gonna close us out, and like I said, we hope you enjoyed a different take.
Yeah. Well, just following up with Brad, what Brad had said, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I know I had a lot of fun. I think Brad had some fun as well. This is a different format. It's a lot unedited, so you're just getting our thoughts as we just ramble. But that's kind of fun. And like Brad said, we love to talk about this. This is what we love to do. And we'd love to hear what you have to say about the different movies that we've listed off, the TV shows, and then tell us about the things that you're watching that we haven't talked about, because we like to find out new things as well. So with that, make sure you smash the like button, comment down below, and you'll see us next time, but only from a distance.